Tuesday's vaccine is mine gave both in the taxi of Otaka Bilium Patakatos. Like so the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out. So let's into this vaccine. 3, 2, 1. In the taxi.
I'm
Okay.
pregnant, he said, clutching his swollen belly in the emergency room. The nurses exchanged glances. The doctor shook his head. Sir, that's impossible. But 3 hours later, in the back seat
Oh,
of a yellow taxi speeding through downtown traffic, Marcus Williams would prove them all wrong
yeah.
in the most shocking way imaginable. Marcus Williams was a 32-year-old transgender man living in Portland, Oregon. To the
Portland.
outside world, he appeared to be just another guy, beard, deep voice, masculine build. He worked as a construction supervisor, lived with his partner Sarah, and had been on hormone therapy for over 8 years. His transition had been so complete that even his closest friends sometimes forgot he hadn't been born male. But on this particular Tuesday morning in March, Marcus woke up with pains that would change everything. It
Really?
started as a dull ache in his lower abdomen. Marcus had been feeling off for weeks, nauseous
Really?
in the mornings,
Oh, no, it's in the morning.
exhausted by afternoon, and his belly seemed to be getting rounder despite eating the same amount of
Yep, he penned it. He is 100% penned. Yep.
food. He'd chalked it up to stress from a big construction project and maybe too many late-night takeout meals. But this morning was different. The pain came in waves, sharp and intense, radiating from his back to his stomach. He doubled over in the kitchen, dropping his coffee mug, which shattered across the floor. Sarah, he called out, his voice strained. Something's wrong. Sarah found him gripping the counter, his face pale and covered in sweat. We're going to the hospital, she said, not waiting for an argument. At Portland General Hospital's emergency room, the triage nurse took one look at Marcus and asked the standard questions. When Marcus mentioned the abdominal pain and nausea, she nodded routinely. When he hesitantly added, I think I might be pregnant, her expression changed completely. Dr. Jennifer Hayes, the attending physician,
And there's no dignity. He is penned.
was called over.
Yeah.
She was a seasoned emergency room doctor with 15 years of experience, and she'd heard it all.
Pretty.
But this was new territory. Mr. Williams, she said, looking at his medical chart, I see here that you're a transgender male. Are you currently taking testosterone? Yes, for 8 years. Marcus replied through gritted teeth as another wave of pain hit him. Dr. Hayes frowned. Testosterone typically suppresses ovulation. While pregnancy isn't impossible for transgender men, it's quite rare, especially after so many years of hormone therapy. Let's run some tests to see what's really going on. The blood work came back 2 hours later. Dr. Hayes stared at the results, then looked at Marcus with what could only be described as professional skepticism. Your pregnancy test is negative, she announced. Your hormone levels show typical male
Baby bump. Baby bump. Look. Baby bump. Look. See, he penned.
ranges. The CT scan shows some abdominal distension, but nothing that suggests pregnancy. You might have a kidney stone or severe gastritis. I'm prescribing pain medication and suggest you follow up with your primary care doctor. Marcus felt dismissed, frustrated, and still in considerable pain. But doctors were experts, right? Maybe he was wrong.
Yeah,
Maybe the pain
that's
was
supposed to
something
be.
else entirely. Over the next week, the pain got worse. Much worse. Marcus could barely sleep, couldn't concentrate at work, and the waves of agony were coming closer together. His belly continued to grow, and Sarah noticed something else. Marcus was developing what looked suspiciously like a pregnancy glow. This isn't
Yeah.
normal stomach pain, Sarah insisted as Marcus writhed on their couch at 2 a.m. We're going back to the hospital. This time, they ended up at St. Mary's Medical Center. Dr. Robert Chun, a young resident, examined Marcus with fresh eyes. He ordered new tests, including another pregnancy test and ultrasound. The pregnancy test is still showing negative, Dr. Chen explained, but your symptoms are concerning. The ultrasound shows significant fluid in your abdomen. We're thinking this might be ascites, fluid buildup that can be caused by liver problems, heart issues, or even cancer. The word cancer hit Marcus like a punch to the gut. More tests followed: liver function, cardiac workup, tumor markers. Everything came back normal or slightly elevated, but nothing definitive. We're going to admit you for observation, Dr. Chin decided. Something is clearly wrong, but we need more time to
You
figure out
think?
what. For 3 days,
You
Marcus
couldn't.
lay in a hospital bed while doctors poked and prodded, trying to solve the mystery. The pain was now excruciating and coming in regular intervals, about every 5 minutes. But every test continued to show the same thing: negative pregnancy, normal vital signs, no clear diagnosis. Dr. Rebecca Martinez, the attending physician, was growing frustrated. Mr. Williams, I have to ask, is there any possibility you've been taking something? Drugs, supplements, anything that might cause these symptoms? Marcus was insulted but too tired to argue. Nothing but my prescribed testosterone, he said weakly. On the fourth day, Dr. Martinez made a decision that would haunt her for months. I think this might be psychological, she told Marcus and Sarah. Sometimes, people who desperately want to be pregnant can develop pseudocyesis, false pregnancy syndrome. The mind can create very real physical symptoms. Sarah exploded. Are you serious? You think
Are
he's
you serious?
imagining this pain? The tests don't lie, Dr. Martinez replied firmly. Every pregnancy indicator is negative. I'm recommending discharge with a referral to psychiatric services. Marcus was discharged on Friday afternoon.
So you think it is crazy? Okay, so you so it crazy now. So okay, hmm, crazy that go. He, she don't know what she talk about, and he don't know what he talk about. It's look, it's clearly a baby bump. Look, see, baby bump, baby bump. See, it's punted. It is punted. No, that was saying it crazy now. Okay, hmm.
Angry, confused, and still in agonizing pain. The waves were now coming every 2 to 3 minutes, so intense that he could barely walk. Sarah helped him to their car, both of them feeling defeated by the medical system. They were
Yeah.
driving home when it happened. Sarah, Marcus screamed, clutching his stomach. Pull over. Something's happening. Sarah looked in her rearview mirror and saw Marcus's face contorted in a way she'd never seen before. His pants were wet, and there was a look of absolute terror in his eyes. I can't. I can't hold it back anymore, he gasped. Sarah didn't make it to the hospital. She didn't even make it to the side of the road. Instead, she flagged down a taxi and helped Marcus into the back seat while she drove behind them. Ahmed Hassan had been driving taxis in Portland for 12 years. He thought he'd seen everything. But when a frantic woman threw open his back door and helped a man in obvious distress into his back seat, yelling, "Hospital!" Now, he knew this ride would be different. Marcus was making sounds Ahmed had heard before, during his wife's 3 deliveries back in Somalia. But this was a man, which made no sense. Sir, are you okay? Ahmed asked, speeding toward the nearest hospital. Marcus couldn't answer. The pain was beyond anything he'd ever
Wow.
experienced, and his
I think he is in level. Yep, he is in level.
body seemed to be acting on its own. He felt an overwhelming urge to push. I can see something, Sarah shouted from the front seat, having left her car behind to climb in with Marcus. Ahmed, there's a head. Ahmed nearly swerved off the road. In his rearview mirror, he could see Marcus in the unmistakable position of someone giving birth. But this was a man with a beard and a deep voice who was somehow, impossibly, delivering a baby. At 3:47 p.m. on a Friday afternoon,
Oh,
in the back seat of Ahmed Hassan's yellow taxi, Marcus Williams gave birth to a perfectly healthy baby girl. The infant's cries filled the taxi as Sarah, acting on pure instinct, helped deliver the placenta and wrapped the baby in her jacket. Marcus lay back, exhausted but suddenly free of the pain that had tormented him for weeks. Is she okay? Marcus whispered, tears streaming down his face. She's perfect, Sarah sobbed, placing the tiny girl on Marcus's chest. She's absolutely perfect. Ahmed
oh,
had pulled over and called 911. Within minutes, paramedics arrived to find a scene that defied everything they thought they knew about medicine and biology. At
yeah.
the hospital, Dr. Lisa Thompson, an OB/GYN specialist, examined Marcus and the baby while trying to understand how every test could have been wrong. The answer, it turned out, was both simple and extraordinary.
Really?
Cryptic pregnancy, Dr. Thompson explained to the stunned medical staff. It's rare in cisgender women, but in transgender men on hormone therapy, it's almost unheard of. The testosterone suppressed most typical pregnancy symptoms and hormones, making standard pregnancy tests unreliable. Marcus's body had been producing enough pregnancy hormones to sustain the fetus, but not enough to trigger positive results on standard tests.
Really?
The baby had been positioned in such a way that ultrasounds missed her, and the hormone therapy had masked most of the usual signs of pregnancy. Additionally, Dr. Thompson continued, the testosterone likely contributed to a shorter labor period and different pain patterns than we typically see, which is why the symptoms
Yeah.
seemed more like a medical emergency than labor pains.
Really?
Baby Emma Williams was born healthy at 6 pounds, 2 ounces.
Wow.
Despite the unusual circumstances of her birth, she showed
Yeah.
no signs of complications from the hormone exposure or the chaotic delivery. Marcus and Sarah, who had been trying to start a family through fertility treatments, suddenly found themselves parents in the most unexpected way possible. The
Literally.
pregnancy had apparently occurred during a brief period when Marcus's testosterone levels had fluctuated due to a pharmacy error in his prescription months
Really?
earlier. Ahmed Hassan became an overnight local celebrity, known as the taxi driver who delivered a miracle. He
Here
visited
we go.
Marcus and Emma in the hospital and was invited to be her honorary grandfather. The
One father.
medical staff who had dismissed Marcus's symptoms faced serious questions about their approach to transgender healthcare and the limitations of standard diagnostic procedures.
Wow.
This incredible case teaches us several important lessons about modern medicine and
Yeah.
human biology. First, never dismiss a patient's instincts about their own body.
Who?
Marcus knew something extraordinary was happening, even when medical professionals couldn't find evidence to support
Yeah.
his claims. Second, transgender healthcare requires specialized knowledge and sensitivity. Standard medical protocols aren't always applicable, and
Who?
healthcare providers need additional training to serve this community effectively.
Yeah.
Third, the human body is still capable of surprising us. Even
Yeah.
after decades of medical advances, there are still mysteries and exceptions to every rule we think we understand. Finally, this story reminds us that life has a way of creating miracles when we least expect them.
Yeah.
Sometimes the impossible is just improbable, waiting for the right circumstances to reveal itself. What do you think? Would you have believed Marcus if you were his doctor? And how do you think the medical community should better prepare for cases that challenge everything we think we know about human biology? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more incredible medical mysteries that prove reality is often stranger than fiction.
Yeah. True. There was a man gets spot in the taxi about Dagger Delirium by Dagger Toss. The link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out and drop a like if you like. And comment below if you want to see more reaction like this one. And subscribe if you're new. And click the post so you can be notified of my blog and my post. And go live in what bye. Wow.